discussing vendor invoice management by OpenText. We discussed leveraging the platform beyond invoice to pay. We talked about sales orders. We talked about cash remittance, vendor statement reconciliation, accruals. But what about sustainability, right? So I have here today Mani, our CTO from Auritas. Can you mind telling us a little bit about, California, New Jersey, New York, and from a global standpoint, tell me a little bit about why ESG reporting is coming to the forefront in specific states and from a global footprint when you're looking at, tracking your sustainability?
Yep. So great question. As you know, the Paris Accord on climate control happened more than 5 years ago, right? And it's still alive today, thankfully. I know it's in the US, we're seeing some deregulation in some ways. It's patchy, but 5 states in the US are still adopting it. There's an actual mandate. For instance, California has a mandate in 2026. And what we are also hearing is that other companies are finding other ways or other needs to meet this due to investor pressure, due to regulatory pressure, right? A lot of investors now want to see a company's track record with climate before being able to invest in a company. So there's stakeholder pressure, there's boardroom pressure. Climate managers are having to face the same standards of environmental reporting, but not not as mandates. It's coming to them as transitionary rules, things like that. So they're still having to meet that.
Understood. And I know it, our client base, right? A lot of it is from a procure to pay standpoint. And what we're noticing, and we have a couple of good success stories, but I really want to focus on that was the why. How are we addressing it, right? And how are we using vendor invoice management to address your carbon footprint within some of our customer base?
Great question. We didn't understand the possibility that we could solve this till a customer came to us, very large global customer. And interestingly enough, right, the ESG mandate falls under the office of the CFO. And of course, we are a finance excellence company. So when we got to this, we discovered very quickly that a lot of scope 1 and scope 2 information is embedded in invoices. And guess who processes invoices? OpenText does, and we do. So in very short period of time, we conceived a solution. We had all the elements. We had the content, we had the data, we had the tools by way of SAP Invoice Management by OpenText that already had processed these invoices. So we really said, let's try to solve this, right, using the tools that the customer already has. And very quickly, we got a pre-built offering that we can offer to the customers now who own OpenText and Invoice Management. And this basically reprocesses invoices, extracts ESG relevant information, and basically does the indirect carbon footprint calculations and produces scope 1, scope 2 emission reporting for their customers, all in 1.5 months.
And I was going to say, from an implementation standpoint, 1.5 months is something to, quite credible. But additionally, when we talk about the reporting, something that this ESG team is looking for, audits, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell them a little bit about our past customer, the first audit that they went through after going live with our ESG, add-on within vendor invoice management?
Yeah, that happened March of this year. And the customer had spent a lot of time prepping for what they expected to be another very strenuous audit compliance. And guess what? Their auditors came in quickly, understood the tool that they were using is OpenText Invoice Management. That shaved off the problem by half. They basically said, we know the tool, it's already pre-audited, it's SOX compliant, we don't need to see it. We trust the reports. So they said this was a breeze, right? It was one of the easiest audits that they've sustained for ESG. And we are now able to then take all these reports and publish accurate, transparent financial statements that comply with the GAG standards.
That's great. And it's good to give, kind of our viewers kind of some insight on how other customers are attacking it today. If you wanted to give us an example of a customer would approach us, either looking to invest in vendor invoice management, unknowingly, they're going to solve for the ESG use case, or they have that in their mission statement today, right? I'm sure a majority of our clients today within their overview on their website is saying our 2026, initiative is to tackle sustainability. So if you could walk, the viewers through what is kind of best practice for Auritas and how do we engage with customers from start to finish?
Yep. So if the customer owns OpenText, look no further. It's got all the built-in elements. It's the easiest path to automating ESG reporting. Our pre-built solution pretty much allows us to deliver this end-to-end in 1.5 months, 6 weeks, right? And this is for a multi-country, global implementation. It's all pre-built. We come in, we'll do a very quick analysis and design workshop with you guys, and the solution very quickly starts to perform, right? So you're operational within 6 weeks. So this is the most economical way to operationalize ESG reporting.
Well, thank you so much, Mani, for your insights. And if you want to get started on your ESG reporting initiative, please reach out to Auritas.